What if I told you that the difference between a retirement that works and a retirement that falls apart comes down to 5 decisions you make in your first 60 days? Not your investment returns, not whether you did Roth conversions or not, but 5 administrative decisions, 5 boxes to check. 5 things that take maybe 10 to 15 hours to complete, and yet thousands of retirees either skip them entirely, do them wrong, or do them too late. And the result is tens of thousands of dollars in lost benefits, potentially hundreds of thousands in tax bills that could have been avoided, Medicare penalties that compound for life, health insurance gaps that create catastrophic risk, all preventable and all within your control, but only if you know what to do and when to do it. So today, I'm going to walk you through all 5, and I'm going to show you exactly what can happen if you don't do them. And I'm going to do so using real numbers. So, with that introduction, I'm John Norberg, and welcome to this latest episode of the Financial Prof series. Alright, so item number 1. Get your healthcare coverage locked down within 60 days of retirement. Not eventually, not when you feel like it, within 60 days. If you're under 65, when you leave your employer, you have 60 days typically to elect COBRA continuation coverage. If you miss that window, you could be uninsured with no way to go back. Imagine this. You retire at 63, you figure you'll look into healthcare next month, and then you fall while doing housework, and you break your femur. $42,000 in medical bills later with no insurance is a big bill. COBRA is expensive, often $1,500 to $2,500 per month for a couple, but being uninsured is far more expensive typically. Alternatively, you might qualify for an ACA marketplace plan with subsidies, but here's the tax trap. Your subsidy is based on your modified adjusted gross income, MAGI. Here's a realistic situation. You're a couple, let's say, who qualifies for a marketplace plan at $400 per month with subsidies. But let's say you did a $120,000 Roth conversion your first year of retirement because you saw how powerful they can be, but without thinking through the full picture, which can then push your modified adjusted gross income too high and lose you those subsidies. Your plan costs now, you might be looking at $2,100 per month, over $20,000 in annual difference. Now, if you're 65 or turning 65, you need to enroll in Medicare during your initial enrollment period. That's the 7-month window that starts 3 months before your 65th birthday month. If you miss this window, then you face late enrollment penalties for life. The Part B penalty is 10% for every 12-month period that you were eligible but didn't enroll. So let's do a little math with this, right? If you're 3 years late, that's a 30% penalty on Part B forever. Standard premium is usually $185 per month. With a penalty, you're looking at $240.50 per month. That's an extra $660 some per year, or over $16,000 over the course of 25 years. Now, Part D, which is prescription drug, has its own penalty, 1% for every month you delayed. But the bottom line is, don't wait. Research your options before you retire. Now, healthcare is critical, but if you get this next one wrong, it could cost you and those you love even more. And most people don't even think to look at this. Item number 2, review and update every single beneficiary designation on every account you own. I heard a story recently about a client who, we'll name him Robert, who had retired at 66, married to his second wife for 15 years. He passed away at 71. He had a $2 million IRA that went to his ex-wife, the woman he'd been divorced from for 20 years. They never even spoke. Why? He never updated his beneficiaries. And here's what people miss. Beneficiary designations override your will. It doesn't matter what your estate documents say, those fancy pieces of paper you probably spent thousands on, because the beneficiary form controls who gets the money. So here's a quick checklist for you. IRAs and 401ks. Who's listed? Is it current? Life insurance policies. That includes old employer policies. Bank and brokerage accounts. Check the TOD, transfer on death designations. Old 401ks, that account from 15 years ago? Check it. Trusts, this is a big one. If you have or plan to set up a trust, it's crucial that the assets be retitled appropriately in the name of that trust. If you're not sure, check with your estate attorney/financial advisor. And here's the tax angle. If you name your spouse, they can roll your IRA into theirs and delay RMDs. Tax efficient, right? If you name your children, they could face the 10-year rule. They must empty that account within 10 years typically. If they're high earners, that can be a pretty massive tax bill. And when it comes to trusts, some people use them for control, some people name charities to avoid taxes on assets, and there's no right answer, but there is a wrong answer: not reviewing it at all. All right, now thing number 3 that I'm about to discuss is actually one of the most frequent questions I get. It's one of the most debated topics in financial planning. So what is number 3? Figure out your Social Security break even and work out your claiming strategy within your first 12 months, ideally, because once you claim, you have exactly 12 months to change your mind. After that, you're locked in. Now, here's something most people don't know. If you claim and realize you made a mistake or circumstances change suddenly, you can withdraw your application within 12 months, repay everything, no interest, and it's as if you never claimed. After 12 months, no do-over. You're stuck. I've heard of people who claim at 62 and then realize 6 months later they'd made an emotional decision. If you withdraw that application and wait until 67, that decision could increase your lifetime Social Security by over $100,000. Now, there can absolutely be good reasons to claim early as well, but that's a different video. The point here is that you should have a strategy backed by data that determines when you will claim. And here's a little tax planning opportunity for you. Let's say you retire at 62 and delay Social Security until 70. You have an 8-year window of potentially low income, which is prime Roth conversion territory. We talk about Roth conversions on this channel quite a bit, but it's basically where you convert assets from a pre-tax account to a post-tax account, paying taxes in the middle, and then once they're in the post-tax Roth, if you will, you don't have to pay taxes on them again as long as you meet the minimum qualifications. So here's an example. Say you retired at 63 with $1.5 million in traditional IRAs, living off of savings, and do 80 to 100K of Roth conversions annually, staying in the 22 to 24% bracket. By age 70, you've converted $400,000 to $700,000. Your future RMDs are smaller, you're in a lower tax bracket, you potentially saved possibly 6 digits or more in lifetime taxes. But if you claim Social Security at 62, that changes the income picture and therefore the conversion window dramatically. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind when it comes to Social Security. If you claim before full retirement age, 67 for most people, you're going to lose $1 in benefits for every $2 that you earn over $23,400. I see people claim at 62, take a $40,000 consulting gig, and lose benefits they didn't know they'd lose. Bottom line, model this out. Ideally, and I know I'm biased, you'll be working with a professional who can also model in all of the other variables, like part-time work, Roth conversion strategies, Medicare premiums, etc. The point is, have a system, be intentional, and remember, 12 months to change your mind. Okay, number 4 is about protecting what you've built. And a lot of people ignore this completely or decide, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about it. So what is it? Number 4 is a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy from day one. Not eventually, you create that strategy and have it ready to go on day one. You see, most retirees default to whatever's easiest. They just pull from their IRA every year. That approach can cost you $50,000 to $150,000 in unnecessary taxes over retirement. So here's an example of the wrong way. Let's say you have $800,000 in traditional IRAs, $300,000 in Roth, $200,000 in a joint taxable account, and you need $70,000 yearly. So you withdraw $70,000 from your IRA every year. The problem is you're paying ordinary income tax on everything, increasing your MAGI, triggering IRMA, that is the income-related Medicare adjustment amount, or losing ACA subsidies, and not using your tax brackets efficiently. Now here's the right way. A tax-efficient strategy might look something like this. Ages 62 to 65, pre-Medicare. Withdraw from those taxable accounts for living expenses. Do Roth conversions and fill up the 22 to 24% bracket. You're paying income taxes strategically. Age 65 to 73, hitting Medicare and pre-RMD stage. Continue with strategic IRA withdrawals, staying below those IRMA thresholds when possible, around $212,000 or so, and being selective in the years you do Roth conversions. Age 73 plus, take required RMDs, supplement with Roth withdrawals, and taxable account capital gains treatment to make sure that your income picture is optimized. So I have a client with about $1.2 million actually in traditional IRAs. If he just took RMDs at 73, he'd be in the 24% bracket most of retirement. We're planning a Roth conversion strategy in his 60s, filling the 22% bracket, looking at converting around $450K. He'll probably pay around $100,000 in total taxes for that conversion strategy. But over his lifetime, that client could potentially save $140,000 to $150,000 in taxes because future RMDs are smaller. He avoids IRMA surcharges, and the Roth grows tax-free. That's a 40 to 50% return on investment. Not half bad, right? But the key is don't wing this. Model it out based on your numbers. All right. Now, the fifth item might surprise you because it's not strictly financial, but it does have significant financial consequences. Item number 5, within your first 30 days, create structure and purpose for your time. Be intentional. Here's what I've observed. The retirees who thrive financially are really the ones who thrive personally. And those who struggle with the transition often make impulsive, expensive decisions. I've seen retirees bored within 3 months. No routine, no purpose, and bored people tend to spend money impulsively to fill the void. I've seen couples retire without a plan for 24/7 together. By year 2, they're divorcing. Divorce in retirement is financially catastrophic, and the truth is the gray divorce rate is rising. For people age 65 and older, the divorce rate was 15% in 2022, about triple of such rates in the 90s for the same age set, according to the Institute for Family Studies. My personal conjecture is that this has at least something to do with the lack of intentionality that we're talking about right here. Frankly, I've seen retirees fall into depression, stop exercising, and face medical expenses decades earlier than they'd thought. So let's talk about what successful retirees do. Create structure, not rigid schedules, but rhythm. When do you exercise, volunteer, socialize? Define purpose. What gives your life meaning now that work is no longer? Volunteering, travel, creative projects, family time? Communicate with your spouse. Talk about expectations, time together versus time apart, individual goals, shared goals. Stay active. Join a gym, take classes, and stay social. The ROI on health is the highest ROI in retirement typically. Now, you might ask, why is this on a financial channel? It's because I've seen the financial consequences of impulsive purchases, health declines, relationship breakdowns, and meaningless days after days of watching reruns. All of these come with their own price tags. And retirees who get this right spend less, live better, and their money lasts longer on the whole. So, let's recap the 5 things that you must do in your first couple months of retirement. Number 1, lock down healthcare coverage. COBRA, ACA, or Medicare. Don't delay. 2, update every beneficiary designation. Make sure your assets go where you want to when you don't need them anymore. 3, finalize your Social Security strategy. Again, you get 12 months to change your mind if you figure out you got it wrong. 4, implement tax-efficient withdrawals from day 1. Model it out, and ideally work with a professional. 5, create structure and purpose, the non-financial thing with financial consequences. 5 things, maybe 10 to 15 hours, potentially $100,000 plus in value over retirement. Now, these 5 things are pretty universal, but the details, how you should handle each one based on your numbers, your taxes, and your goals, well, that is unique to you. So here's what I'm offering. If you're retiring soon or recently retired and wondering if you've handled these correctly, I want to create a personalized retirement plan video for you. Go ahead and click the link in the description or fill it out when you have time. It takes 5 minutes, not even, and you give us a few basic pieces of information, age, savings, etc., and it's completely confidential. I will then record a custom 5-minute retirement plan video analyzing your situation to tell you whether you're on track, where you might be exposed, a few things that you might want to consider to tweak your plan and possibly implement to make it just a little bit better. And it's not a sales pitch, it's a genuine analysis that I'm offering completely free. Why? Because as we stare down the beginning of this new year, I've seen too many people make preventable mistakes in those first 60 days. And as we're all starting to try out these resolutions, I want your 2026 to be the best year ever. The link is in the description. Go ahead, click it, fill in those details, and I'll get you your personalized video ASAP. In the meantime, I'll see you out there.